Hi, my name is Javier Davalos, and I'm going to talk about video games and what they mean to me and why I think they should be taken more seriously by people and not just like as just games for kids. Uh, Video games have evolved so much since the old video game, the very first video game about just a ping pong game on the Atari, and like that was just like a playing game for fun, and that's it. And now they have rich stories. Characters have actually backgrounds, stories that follow, that continue, that have sequels, and I think stories are like much more immersive now, and like a movie or something like that, or even more since they are longer now. Like movies are about 2.5 hours. Like the longest ones are like about 3 hours or so, and in video games it could be like the shortest video games are about 6 hours, and those are like really short video games. And like the longest ones are about 300 hours, but those ones there are even ones that you can't even finish because there's no end to it. But the ones that have stories are around 60 hours or so, maybe depends on the game. There are rare ones, but there are some. And I think it's childish to think that video games are only for kids now, since then why would they be mature, like M-rated and so that? It's because not only because of the violence or the war, it's because of the kind of stories and the things that they handle in the story. Like I don't know, some games talk about like sex, drugs, and but not because they just like want to add them in, because there's almost no games, or maybe there's not even games about just sex and drugs, besides uh, Grand Theft Auto and so that. But most games they just say them because they want you to know that they're in there, but it's because they have to put in there to make a vibe, or to make a world and a universe and make it seem like realistic, like in the real world. Like most games are actually pretty realistic or close to the real world, are M-rated actually, and and they have rich stories for the most part. And if you think games are only for kids, it's because maybe you're used to seeing games like Mario and I don't know, Sonic, and I don't know, some stuff like that, like Pac-Man. But if you think they're just for kids, then you should maybe like play, I don't know, Skyrim, Bioshock, Catherine, Reckoning, or some stuff like that with Shadow of the Colossus. That's a really good, really good video game. That's a piece of art for me, and I can't actually played it, but I want to, because I don't know. I think it's like a basic, a classic, or something like that for video games that you must play, kind of like Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is a really basic game that is a really old game from the NES, no, from the SNES, and it's an RPG that it's like really basic, and it's one of the best games out, even even though it's like from what's like 13 years ago or something like that. But I don't know. Like Dark Souls is a game that you have to be. There's some games that don't even tell you a story. Like I was telling about Dark Souls, there's not even a story to it. If you just play through it, like you just go from like the beginning to the end. It will seem to you like there's no story, but you have to get into the world and I don't know, look for stuff, read stuff, and if you don't get into the world, if you don't like get interested or try to find stuff, then you won't know anything about the story, and that's a shame because it's a really good story. Like it leaves a lot out to your imagination, and what you think about like the characters and stuff like that. Like leaves a lot of stuff to your judgment, and I don't know. I like that about video games, that they just like make you I don't know, get so involved into the characters, because you're actually like, if in like in a movie you just like watch them do stuff and that's it. They just do them just because you're just watching. But in a video game you actually like use the characters, you actually interact with them, you respond to them, they react to you. It's the closest thing there is to a real conversation with a person, or anything like that. Like besides talking to a person, to a real person and caring for them, the second thing is maybe playing a video game, since they're like the closest thing there is. And I don't know. That's why I care about characters from video games more than I care about characters from movies. There's just like a whole nother universe in a video game that you like never imagine. It's like the imagination of someone else, the guys that created it. And I don't know. Maybe it's just like another story that you never thought about. And there's another rules in another universe. There's another rules in another world that you will never visit. That doesn't even exist. And I don't know. It's like traveling to another place with other people and like living another life or something like that. There's games that even have multiple endings, so you have multiple stories or multiple ways to choose what you want to be. If you want to be bad, or you want to be good, or you want to be something in the middle, you can always choose if you want. And so there's freedom to it. There's always a different spirits in almost every single video game out there right now. No one is gonna have the same feeling or gonna play the same way.